This week on Storyboard, Kraft Heinz India recently appointed former cricketer Sourav Ganguly as the brand ambassador for their brand Complan. We catch up with the cricketer to find out how he chooses brands. And on the sidelines of Zee Melt, we caught up with Tom Fishburne, the creator of Marketonist. Hello and welcome to Storyboard. This is Shibani Gharat. At the start of the week, as I entered my office, I was welcomed by a very interesting campaign. The message splashed on it was 18 is equal to 1. And just like me, this campaign raised both intrigue and curiosity amongst most of my other fellow employees. So why exactly is 18 really equal to 1? And what is this campaign all about? Let's find out from Rahul Kansal, Group Brand Advisor at Network 18.
Our group has become clearly the leading, provider of news on television across the country, with the whole ETV network having folded into the News 18 brand, and of course with the built on the legacy of IBN 7 and CNN IBN, which all are now part of the News 18 network. We are clearly the leading brand, but we wanted to find an interesting way of saying it that didn't put people to sleep. So basically this came along in our agency Low, they came up with some 4 or 5 lines. Many of them sounded somewhat usual, more or less in the genre of what we have been seeing. One of them actually had this idea of 18, linking 18 and 1 in some way. So we just picked that out. I just felt there was some potential in that one simple line. And we decided to just, in fact, remove all the words and simply make it a fraudulent mathematical equation, 18 is equal to 1. We decided to then have fun with it. So in that sense, all kinds of number 1s became 18s and 18s became number 1. So the voting age suddenly became 1. And, and suddenly Neil Armstrong became the 18th man to land on the moon. And the first week was like a preview to our own employees. And on 18th, which is I guess the right appropriate day to launch this campaign, 18th Monday, we're launching it for the world at large. So it's going to be launched in the mass media. We're going to be taking this idea to some 50-odd agency offices, media agency offices around the country, especially in the large cities, and so on. So the idea is to let our trade partners and clients feel the same sense of engagement that our own staff has been able to.
A very interesting campaign indeed. Moving on from this equation, 18 is equal to 1, we are now speaking about a brand that promised helping us excel in maths while we were growing up. Yes, I'm speaking about Complan. Kraft Heinz India recently appointed former cricketer Sourav Ganguly as their brand ambassador for their brand Complan. We catch up with the cricketer to find out how he chooses brands and why he chose to become a Complan boy.
I have with me today one of the most successful and charismatic captains of Indian cricket, the other for his fans, the Prince of Kolkata, Sourav Ganguly. Sourav, welcome to Storyboard.
Thank you.
Sourav, you've become the brand ambassador for Complan, or if I may say so, you're the new Complan boy. So what made you endorse Complan?
I believe protein is very important in any young boy and a girl, a growing young boy and a girl. And that's one of the reasons I've been a sportsman all throughout my life. So I know during my growing up stages how important protein is. I have a young girl at home, Sana, and I realized that she needs to be given the right amount of protein. When I grew up, my father actually gave me Complan. I remember that. There weren't not many variety in the taste those days.
So you've truly been a Complan boy.
Yes, I have actually, and I've seen up growing the ad. I'm a Complan boy and a Complan girl. So I've been attached to this brand for a long way, and coincidentally, at this time, I'm endorsing it.
So tell us about this campaign. What is it all about?
Actually, it's about spreading the message to the masses, especially parents who are very, all parents are very very bothered about their children, about their growth, how healthy they become. They want them to be successful in their careers. But in doing that, they must also realize that you must feed them the right thing, and protein is very important. So it's very important to pass the message onto young mothers and fathers that when your child grows up, it's important to study, it's important to play, it's important to do whatever you want because of your future, but at the same time it's important that the right amount of protein goes into your system.
So moving on to your other brand endorsements, how do you choose your brands? Are there any qualities that you look for before you endorse a brand, or are there any products or brands that you refrain from endorsing?
See, I look at brand credibility, which is very, very important. I also look at, to a certain extent, what social message the brand sends to the community, to the people, which I think is very, very important. When you are known all around the country, it's very important that you spread the right kind of message. In terms of not doing brands, I don't think I have gone that far, because I think every brand has its own value. Every brand has its own dream of becoming successful and making a difference to the business world. Unless and until it's socially and politically very, very negative to the society, which has never happened to me actually in my 20 years of endorsement career, I really haven't had no problems.
So you just mentioned that in your 20 years of career there hasn't been a problem with endorsements. So going by that, cricketers have always been a hot property for brand endorsements. So what is it one advice you'd like to give the current crop of cricketers on their endorsements, given their popularity?
I think it's very important to send the right kind of message to the youth. They are all role models and they're well looked after these days, which is a great thing in cricket. And I think they have a social responsibility. So it's not just the behavior on the field, but off the field, and what you do off the field, and send a message to the young boys and girls who look up to them, because a lot of them want to be like a Kohli or a Rahane or a Pujara or a Bumrah or a Ashwin, and so they all want to be and play the sport in this country, because the sport in this country is so huge. So I think it's very important to behave responsibility, and the most important thing is look after your cricket. If you play well, brands will follow.
Sourav, I've seen that you're very active on Twitter, and you like tweeting about your brand associations. So how important is Twitter, or what role does Twitter play in promoting brands that you endorse?
I think social media is very important. It's about passing the message as quickly as possible, because a lot of us are very busy, we have tough lives, and we may not be able to watch television all the way. But mobiles and Facebook and Twitter and Instagram have, it's in your striking distance, in your hand all the time, wherever you are, whether you're in the car, whether you're having a dinner with a friend, or you're away somewhere, you just get to know what's going on. So it's very important to spread the message through the social media, which actually reaches people very, very quickly.
And also going by that, do you think that brands are more inclined towards celebs who have a larger social media presence?
Yes, but you got to be successful as well, not just having a social media presence, but also it's how people look up to you, what people think about you in the society, and what you've achieved in your professional life. I think that's very important. Not just by being active on social media you'll get endorsements, but it's about how successful you are.
All right, Sourav, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hi Vikram, welcome to Storyboard.
Hi.
Vikram, you've recently launched the new campaign for Complan. So what message are you trying to convey through this campaign?
So Ankita, Complan has always stood for superior nutrition for kids. And we've been trying to, our products over the years has always provided the right micro and macronutrient to kids for the right growth. Protein, which is actually one of the most important nutrients for the physical and mental growth of kids. But unfortunately, because of the lack of proper understanding of sources of protein, 9 out of 10 people in India are protein deficient, if you go by one of the latest IMRB surveys. So the single point agenda of this campaign is actually to go beyond the product and actually help educate mums in this one strong message that we very strongly believe in, that com protein chalbena, that low protein will not do anymore.
And what made you choose Sourav Ganguly as the brand ambassador?
So we associated with Dada last year via Dadagiri, which is one of his famous series in the Bangla media, and actually that worked very well for us. But as I got to know Dada more closely, actually we realized that the philosophy of Complan and the philosophy of Dada are quite similar. Complan has always been creating a generation of Complan boys and Complan girls over the years who are healthy and stand tall. Dada has been a beacon of leadership and about doing things the right way. And that, in my mind, gave me the perfect fit between Dada and Complan to actually come together and take this larger than simply a product communication message to the broader society outside.
Apart from this TVC, how are you planning to take this campaign forward? What is going to be your marketing mix like?
Look, one of the biggest things for this campaign is authenticity is one of the most important things. And I somehow believe that TVC alone is actually increasingly being considered not as the most authentic medium. Hence, it is very important that to actually do it in the most honest and most authentic social way. So actually, social media will have one of the biggest impetus from our side in terms of taking this forward. We are actually starting with a very unique social experiment, and that social experiment, but then maximized via TVC, via radio, via print, outdoor, across all mediums, like a typical good campaign which has all the right elements of ATL and BTL.
So 6 months from now, Vikramjit, how will you measure the success of this campaign in terms of your return on investment?
Very good question, because look, end of the day, return on marketing investment is the first thing any marketer, any CMO must see when we try to do everything. And for us, end of the day, it has to be sales and share growth. We are targeting a high double-digit sales growth, which allows us, because knowing the category rate of growth, to grow ahead of category competitively and win market share as well.
All right, all the best to you for the campaign. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Ankita. Thank you so much.
It is time for us to slip into a short break. On the other side of this break, we catch up with Tom Fishburne on the sidelines of Z Melt.